Do you feel like your church website is stuck? It's not performing the way that you want it to. It's not converting website visitors into actual church visitors. Well, there's one thing that you can do that's actually pretty easy, and we're going to walk you through exactly how to do it, that can help you to level up your website, to make your website better than it currently is, to make sure that the strategy is in place, both from a look and feel perspective and a content perspective. And that is being inspired by other websites. What we're not saying here is to copy somebody else's website, to copy and paste somebody's website exactly into your website to make your website look like a different church or different ministry's website. But inspiration is a big part of design. It's a big part of content. It's a big part of strategy. So in this video, we're going to walk you through the importance of inspiration, why you need to be looking at other websites, doing market research, seeing what else is out there, the importance of inspiration, but then also what are the best practices for being inspired and applying those things that you were inspired by onto your specific church website so that your website can perform at its maximum potential. Hey everyone, Brandon here with Richie Creative. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you're a pastor or a communications director or a marketing director of your church, or maybe just an office director or an intern who's responsible for your church's website design strategy, welcome to the channel. We're glad you're here. This is a channel that is for you, the church leader, to help put practical tools and resources and training in your hands so that your website can perform online the way that it's supposed to hopefully help you reach your community and to help your website communicate the right things about your church and not the wrong things. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so that you never miss a training video when it comes out, so that we can continue to learn together, grow together, and build websites that, again, communicate the right things about our churches and about our ministries. So this is something that we talked about in the past, but as we're building websites, we always think through a strategic framework. So again, the framework that we're going to be talking about today is a little bit different than the strategy framework. The strategy framework, if you're not familiar with it, we'll link a video or we'll put a link to the video where we talk all about this. Basically, we look at your mission for your website. What are you actually trying to achieve? We look at your messaging, your marketing, your meaningful experiences, making sure all of those things are actually put in place the right way so that your website strategy is actually doing what you want it to do online. But there's a different framework that we follow for actually building a website. So what is that process of an actual website design build? Well, it starts with inspiration, then it goes to ideation, and then implementation, and then presentation. And so today we're going to be camping out in that first part, or that first lens of the framework for building a website. And that is the inspiration phase, getting inspired, doing market research, seeing what else is out there. So first, let's talk about, why do you need to be inspired? What's the importance of inspiration, and why should you be looking at other websites instead of just focusing on your website without seeing what else is out there? Well, the fact is, if you're stuck in an echo chamber and all that you ever see is your church, your ministry, your people, your content, then you're actually not going to be able to sharpen your website or improve it to make it as effective as it can be. So again, you need to be looking at other websites, doing market research, seeing what else is out there. But rule number one that I want you to know before we get into any of that is inspiration is not cheating. You're not cheating if you're getting inspired. You're not cheating if you're looking to see what other people are doing. So the first place, and maybe this sounds obvious, where you can find inspiration is other church websites. Even if they're not in your denomination, they're not in your geographic location, you can still glean from them and see, what are they doing that's working? What are they doing that's not working? What are they doing that really resonates with me as a pastor, or that might resonate with our community or our congregation? So that's one thing that you can do, is look to other church websites. The second thing you can do is look at other websites that aren't churches. Even if it's a for-profit business, or a nonprofit, even if they aren't churches or ministries necessarily, there are still things that you can learn from these other websites that you might want to implement onto your own website. So that's number two. So again, number one, look at other church websites. Number two, look at other websites that aren't churches, but they might be nonprofits or for-profit businesses. And then the third place that you can find inspiration is actually not on websites at all. It's not a church website. It's not a nonprofit website. It's not a business website, but online platforms, particularly design portfolio platforms, but essentially designers that are posting, hey, here's something that I designed for my church or for my ministry or for my business. And they basically use these as portfolios to display their work, display things that they're illustrating or that they're creating. But Dribble in particular is a great place to get inspired for color palettes and typography and logo designs and iconography and so many other things that you might want to actually implement into your church or ministry websites. So again, church websites, non-church websites, and then platforms, particularly design portfolio platforms, where you might be able to get inspired by aesthetic, look and feel, colors, fonts, typefaces, etc. Okay, so now we know where to look for inspiration, you know where to go, but what are you looking for? When you're actually doing this market research and you're getting inspired for your church or ministry website, what are you actually looking for? Well, there's really two main categories that I would recommend looking for as you're getting inspired. One is content. So essentially, you're going to a church website and you're scrolling down and you're seeing what are they actually communicating on the homepage of their website or on the About Us page or on the FAQ page or on the Plan My Visit page. What's the actual content? And again, you're not going to be copying and pasting their content because again, that is plagiarism and that is cheating. But again, just getting inspired. So for instance, on a I'm New page or Plan Your Visit page, you might notice that one church that you go to that you're getting inspired by has 10 FAQs and they're very, very good questions. These are questions that almost every single new visitor might be asking, and they might be asking the same things at your church prior to their visit at your church or your location. So again, you can look at those FAQs and you can rewrite them. You can rewrite the answers because your answers are going to be different than their answers anyways. So again, that's a really great example of how to get inspired from a content perspective from one of these websites. I view a church homepage as a scrolling page that basically has lead-ins to other pages. So I personally believe that on your homepage of your church website, there should be a section about giving, which should go to your giving page for more information. There should be a section talking about your team or what you believe that then goes to an About Us page. There should be, as you're scrolling down, a little event section with maybe the most recent 3 events, and then a button that says view all events that then goes to your events page. So again, as you're scrolling down the homepage of your church website, there should be lead-ins to all of your other pages. Maybe not all of your other pages, but at least the main pages that people are probably going to want to interact with on your church website. So again, as you're scrolling down the homepages of these other church websites, you might see a section or a lead-in that you haven't even considered adding onto your church website. So again, that's another thing that you might do to be inspired is what are the lead-ins or what are the sections on their homepage that I might want to add? They might even have an announcement bar up at the top that has service times, locations, a phone number, and maybe you don't have that and you say, hey, that's a great idea. People want to have easy access to service times. Let's add an announcement bar to the very top of the header so that it's the first thing that somebody sees when they get to your church website, when the homepage loads. Service times, contact us, get directions link, all of that right there at the very top. So that's how you would get inspired in terms of content. But the other lens that you want to look through is design, right? This is the aesthetics, the colors, the fonts, the typography, the iconography, the look and feel, the animations, all of those different things, photo treatments, all of those different things are things that you can also glean from church websites, non-church websites, or online platforms. So again, maybe as you're in the inspiration process, you're being inspired by photo treatments. You see that one church is using a really cool photo treatment. Maybe it's a black and white photo with some sort of gradient overlay on top of it. And you think, okay, that'd be cool, but we have a different color palette. So instead of a red and purple gradient, let's use a green and blue gradient because that fits our brand more closely or more effectively. This would be a great spot for me to add. Your church might already have approved colors with hex codes and RGB codes and CMYK codes. Hey, here's our color codes. Don't stray from these different color codes. Here's our typography. We always use this font for headings and this font for body text. What I'm referring to here is a style guide or a brand guide or brand guidelines. If your church doesn't have that, I would highly recommend having that because again, it just kind of puts in place protections around your visual brand, making sure that your brand doesn't get diluted. We're going to do future videos all about style guides and brand guides in the future. But again, it's typically, a 5 to 10 page booklet talking all about logo usage, colors, fonts, all of that to make sure that you're protecting your brand and not diluting your brand. But here's the bottom line. It's not cheating to be inspired by other websites. In fact, I would recommend it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in an echo chamber. All you're ever going to see and think about is your church, your ministry, your aesthetic, your look and feel, your content. So again, inspiration is important both in terms of content. What are the things that other people are including on their website, messaging, content, sections, but then also aesthetics, design, look, feel, colors, photo treatments, all of those things. As long as they line up with your brand guidelines, you can kind of customize those things to fit your brand to make them unique to you. And then as you're being inspired, I would take a lot of notes. I would have a notepad or a tablet out where you're documenting and you're taking notes throughout the process, because if you're going to do this the right way, you're not just going to look at one other website and copy them or get inspired by them. You're going to be looking at 10 or 12 or 15 different sources, different places, different websites that you can then kind of turn into a big collage of what do we want to glean from them? What do we want to take away from them? And then what do we want to leave behind? What are the things that we don't want to implement that they implemented so that, again, you can make something custom for your church and for your ministry? I believe every church is different and distinct and has a distinct DNA as a church. Your congregation and your community and your geographic location and your denomination, all of that plays into this distinct and unique DNA that your church has. But this inspiration part of the process is all about refining that and seeing what other people are doing. And does this line up with our distinct DNA as a church so that we can make our website more effective at reaching our community and hitting our online objectives. Hey, I know I talked about this in other videos, but we do have a free resource for you, the pastor, for you, the church leader, called the Guide to the Perfect Church homepage. Maybe you just don't know where to start. I know earlier we talked about sections on your homepage and lead-ins and all of those different things. If you just don't know what to include on the homepage of your church or ministry website, again, it's a free resource, free to download. Guide to the Perfect Church homepage. We'll put a link in the description where you can have access to that and download that. Or maybe you would benefit from a one-on-one strategy coaching session with me or somebody on my team. We can look at your church website one-on-one over a Zoom call, just giving you some really good practical feedback from a strategy perspective. So again, you can reach your online objectives more effectively and reach new people in your community. Well, hopefully this video added a little bit of value to you today. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you can be notified when a new training video comes out so that we can continue to build websites that, again, help us to hit our online objectives and reach new people in our community. Remember, you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Stay creative, and we'll catch you next time.